After my last video on AI agents, I got the same question a bunch of times, which was, okay, I get that I should be using AI agents instead of just babysitting ChatGPT, but I don't know how to code, I don't want to learn Zapier, and I don't have time to become a developer. So what do I actually do? And that's a fair question. Here's the answer that most people don't know. You don't have to build from scratch anymore. Anthropic, the company that makes Claude, just released 2 products specifically designed to turn regular people into AI agent users without writing a single line of code. Claude Cowork is for non-technical people who need to automate files and tasks on their desktop. Claude Code is for developers or people who work with developers who want AI that can actually write, test, and deploy code autonomously. So these are not chatbots, these are actual agentic AI systems that do the work while the humans are not there. And I'm going to show you exactly how they work, when to use them, which one to use, and how to get your first agent running in under 30 minutes. Let's go. A quick recap from part 1. In my last video, I explained the difference between using AI as a co-pilot where you prompt, it responds, you copy paste, versus using it as an AI colleague where it triggers, decides, and acts without you. The model keeps you in the loop, the colleague model removes you entirely. And I showed you that framework of trigger, brain, act. The response I got from that was, great, I see the value, I know what I want to automate, but I have no idea how to build an AI agent. Do I need to learn Python? Do I need to pay a developer $5,000? Do I just give up? For years, building AI agents did require technical skills, and you had to use workflow tools like make.com or Zapier. You had to connect APIs manually. You had to write custom code for complex logic, and you had to debug when things broke by hand, and then you had to maintain it ongoing. And that was the real barrier. So people who weren't technical either hired developers, which was expensive, learned it themselves, which was time consuming, or just kept doing things manually, which remains frustrating. But all of that just changed. Anthropic built tools specifically designed to lower that barrier. So not just easier for developers, but actually accessible for a non-technical audience. There are 2 tools, and I have 2 different use cases to talk about. They're both agentic, so let me break them down for you. The first tool is Claude Cowork, and I'm going to tell you just a little bit about what that is. It's a desktop application that lets non-developers automate file management and task workflows right from their computer. So who is this for? This would be more for operations people, small business owners, consultants, and product managers, anyone who deals with repetitive file-based tasks but does not write code. Here's what it actually does. Think about the file-based tasks that eat up your week. Organizing downloads into folders by type, renaming files based on naming conventions, moving files from email attachments to project folders, generating reports from data files, batch processing documents, creating folder structures for new projects. Right now, you do these things manually, and it's pretty quick. You click, drag, rename, move, repeat. With Cowork, you can describe that task in plain English, and Claude does it for you. Just to be clear, this is not Claude helps you do it, this is Claude does it. Here's a real example. Let's say you're a consultant, and every time you start a new client project, you need to do a couple things. First, you create a folder structure that has your contracts, deliverables, research, everything else. Second, you're gonna move the signed contract form from your email to the context folder, rename it to match your naming convention, which might be like client name, contract date, and then create a tracking spreadsheet and then set up the first invoice draft. And those are all probably manual steps that you do. And let's say that takes 15 minutes per project. And let's say you do this 10 times a month. That's 2.5 hours right there. Through the Cowork process, you would tell Claude Cowork, when I get a new signed contract email from X domain, create the project folder structure, move and rename the contract, generate the tracking sheet, and draft the first invoice. So you set it up once, and then it runs every time that trigger happens. And if you test it, you're not there, it just works. Now this sounds scary, so let's talk about the interface. You are not writing code, you're just describing workflows in natural language, and Claude Cowork is translating that into actions on your computer. So the learning curve here is just being able to describe a process step by step. If you can do that, you can use Cowork. It is conversational, so you literally talk to it like you would brief a new assistant. How much does this cost? This is part of your regular Claude subscription if you have it, and there's no separate developer needed, so this is a really inexpensive tool. Tool number 2 is Claude Code. So what is that? This is a command line tool that lets developers delegate entire coding tasks to Claude at once. So this is not help me write this function, it's more build this feature, test it, and deploy it. This is more for developers, technical founders, or people who work closely with dev teams. Traditional AI coding assistants like what you'd get in GitHub or Copilot are just that. They're copilots, and they automate your code, they suggest functions, but you are still the one writing the code. Claude Code is different. You give it a task from your terminal. Build an API endpoint that validates email addresses, or debug why the login flow is failing on mobile. Add a new dashboard widget that shows user growth. And Claude Code reads your code database, writes the new code, tests it, and deploys it after already debugging it. And it does all of this autonomously. You come back later and you review the work. You didn't write it. You didn't even really supervise it line by line, but you delegated the task and Claude executed it. Let's say you're building a nonprofit fundraising platform and you need to add a recurring donation feature. With the traditional approach, you or a developer would spend 8 to 12 hours writing the code, testing edge cases, fixing bugs, integrating with your payment processor. With the Claude Code approach, you run Claude Code, add recurring donation feature with Stripe integration. Claude then reads your existing payment code, writes the recurring logic, adds all of the UI components, tests the flow, handles error cases, and then commits all the working code. The time for you is about 30 minutes to review and approve, and that's the shift from Copilot to colleague in the development world. So, when do you use which of these tools? Use Cowork if you're not a developer and you need some file task automation, and these are flows that can take place on your desktop. Use Claude Code if you are or work with a developer or you need actual code written, tested, and deployed. And then you can use API and custom agents when you need highly specific integrations across multiple cloud services. This is where you would hire someone like me to build custom agents using Claude's API. So here's what to do next. Step 1 is download the Claude Quick Start Playbook, which the link is in the description. This is a tool I made that walks you through everything you're going to need to do. It walks you through setting up Cowork for your first automation. It has 3 pre-built starter agents that you can copy. It has a decision tree for which tool for which task, and it also has a troubleshooting guide. Step 2 is pick one task to automate. Don't try to automate everything at once. Just pick one repetitive task that you have that happens at least 3 times a week, follows the same pattern every time, and takes at least 10 minutes each time. That's your test case. Step 3, set it up, watch it run. Use the playbook to describe the task to Cowork. Let it run once while you watch, see it work. That's the holy shit moment where you realize, yes, this is real. And then step 4, decide what's next. After you see one agent work, you'll probably immediately think of 10 more tasks that you can automate. Now you have 3 options. Option A is use the playbook and build the next one yourself. It's totally doable for straightforward tasks. Option B is hire a developer to build custom agents using Claude's API for more complex workflows. And option C is work with someone like me who specializes in building agentic AI systems for mission-driven organizations. Here's the bottom line. A year ago, building AI required technical skills that most people do not have. Today, tools like Claude Code and Claude Cowork removed that barrier. You don't have to become a developer, you don't need to learn make.com or API integrations, and you don't need to spend $10,000 hiring an engineer. But what you do need to do is identify the tasks that follow patterns, describe what you want the agent to do, and then let Claude build it. This is an instance where the technology caught up to the need. So if you're still doing repetitive operational tasks manually, or if you're paying a VA human wages to do robot work, you're choosing to stay stuck. Not because the solution doesn't exist, but because you haven't tried it yet. Download the Quick Start Playbook, set up your first agent, and see it work. Link is in the description. And if you get through the playbook and think, okay, I see how this works, simple stuff, but I need help with the complex workflows, that's literally what I do. I help mission-driven organizations and small businesses build agentic AI systems using Claude. So file automation, lead qualification, data processing, client onboarding. If it follows a pattern, we can automate it. Book a strategy call, bring your task list, and we'll build a plan. Stop waiting for it to get easier because it already did. I'm Emily Neuhoff, and I'll see you in the next one.